Good evening, good evening, good evening, good evening, everybody. Thank you so much for taking time to join us here on Health Talk. I know it's been a good minute since we've been on here. Um, had some things going on, but we're now trying to get things back in line, get things back on track. And we appreciate you for taking a brief moment to come and join us here on Health Talk. Um, we're on here tonight to conduct a brief poll. Um, yeah, we're gonna do a quick poll tonight. We're getting ready to have a registered dietitian to come onto our podcast. We are super excited about the opportunity to have this person come and be a part of our podcast. But prior to us securing everything and getting everything in place and getting everything in order, we wanted to know what you, our listening audience, thought about us having a registered dietitian on our live podcast. As with any of our podcasts, you're able to, once we go live, you're able to uh, type in your questions in the comment section and you're able to get a response in real time. Yes, we are super, 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 super excited. I cannot express to you how excited I am for this opportunity to have this person to come on and be our guest on our podcast here on Health Talk. As you know, Health Talk is a part of He Cares Training and Education Center, where yours truly is the program director, and Dr. Deirdre Willis, she is our program manager. Again, we're on here tonight. We just want to do a simple poll to see how many of you will be willing to join us on our live podcast when we bring on our registered dietitian to speak with us. And if you will, if you'll notice on the screen, we do have a poll and we have a QRS a, Q- a QR code bar for you to scan. And if you will, just take a moment and take your phone with your camera and run it over the QR code bar and just scan it, and it should come up with the questionnaire. Uh, and as it says, it's a registered dietitian podcast. And our question to you, we want to know, will you join us on our live podcast when we do bring on this registered dietitian? Like I say, we're super excited for the opportunity to have a registered dietitian to come on to our podcast. You that may be viewing this podcast live, if you will, just go ahead on and scan that QR code, and it'll pop up with you, pop up for you to place your response. You can respond either yes or no that you'll be willing to join us when we bring on this registered dietitian to our live podcast. So again, you that are watching live and you that may review this recording, this podcast a little later on, if you would just take your phone, take your camera, and scan that QR code and take our poll for us. We want to know, will you be willing to join us in our live podcast if we brought on a registered dietitian? As with any of our podcasts, you will be able to ask any questions of our dietitian that you would like to ask. All you have to do is type in your question in the comment section, and you'll be able to get a response back in real time. We are super, super excited. Yes, we're super, super excited. So, I'm asking you, if you will, for me, just take a quick moment, take your phone out, use your camera, scan that QR code on your screen there, and then go ahead and cast your vote. you that are reviewing this session live, you can go ahead and do that now. Just take your phone with your camera and scan that QR code, and just take our quick poll. Amen. And the quick poll is asking, will you be willing to join us on our live podcast when we bring on a registered dietitian? Yes, we're in the process of trying to secure a registered dietitian to come on to the podcast and speak with us. And as with any of our podcasts, as we said before, you're able to ask any question that you would like to ask of this dietitian once we bring them on. All you have to do is just type in your question in the comment section, and you will be able to get a response back in real time. So, again, you that are watching live at this present time and you that may review this podcast a little later on, if you would just take your phone, use your camera, scan that QR code that is on the screen, and cast your vote about whether or not you'll be willing to join us when we bring on the registered dietitian to our podcast. I'm telling you, it's going to be an exciting podcast. Yes, this individual is a registered, licensed dietitian, so they will be able to provide you with some excellent response to your question concerning your health, diets, and things of that nature. So, yeah, if you would, please go ahead, take that phone out, scan that QR code, cast your vote for whether or not you'll be willing to join us on our live podcast once we secure the registered dietitian to come on and speak to us doing our live podcast. Again, as I said, I am super excited for the opportunity to bring this guest into our live podcast. But I just want to hear from you, our listening audience, if you're willing to join us when we actually get things secured and in place, get an actual date, get an actual time, and things of that nature. But prior to that, I'm just asking if you will help me out here, if you don't mind. Go ahead, take your phone out, use your camera, scan that QR code, and cast your vote as to whether or not you will be willing to come on back once we get the registered dietitian to come on and speak to us. I'm sure you're going to find once we secure everything, you're going to find the information that the dietitian is going to provide to us. I think you're going to find it very beneficial and very useful. Uh, and again, we're just going to leave the scan up for just a few minutes and just take your moment if you don't mind, and just cast your vote for us as to whether or not you will be willing to join us during our live podcast once we are able to secure this registered dietitian to come and speak to us. Again, I am super excited, and I hope you're just as super excited as I am. So go ahead, if you don't mind. We're going to leave it up for just a few more minutes. Go ahead and cast your vote. All right, we'll be back on here shortly. All right, for those of you that may just be joining us back on here, we're asking for your help. We're asking you, if you will, to go in and cast your vote. All right, for those of you that may just be joining us back on here, we're asking. Apologies. So we're asking you, if you will, help us out here. We're in the process of getting a registered dietitian to come onto our podcast and speak to us and provide us some very valuable and useful information regarding health and nutrition. So I'm asking you, our listening audience, if you will just take a quick moment of your time, take your camera out, scan that QR code that you see on your screen, and it will bring you up to where you can cast your vote. And the question of tonight is we're asking, will you be willing to join us on our live podcast when we secure the registered dietitian to come and speak to us on our live podcast? And you that are joining and watching us live, you can go ahead and cast your vote. And you that might be joining us a little bit later on or reviewing the podcast a little later on, you can still have the opportunity to cast your vote as well. Okay, we're super excited about this. So please, if you will, take just a quick moment of your time, if you don't mind. Take your camera out, scan that QR code, cast your vote, and let us know if you're willing to join us and participate with us in our live podcast once we get everything secure and finalized to have the registered dietitian to come on. All right, you're watching Health Talk. Health Talk, as you may know, and those of you that may not know, is a part of He Cares Training and Education Center, where yours truly is the program director, and Dr. Deirdre Willis is our program manager. And we thank you for taking your time out of your busy schedule. You didn't have to do it, but I want you to know I really appreciate you. Okay. I thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule because you didn't have to do it to join this podcast. And now, what I'm asking you to do, if you will, please help us out. We're in the process of securing a registered dietitian to come onto the podcast and to speak to us and provide us some very valuable information. So I'm asking if you will cast your vote, letting us know if you're willing to, amen, join us back uh, later on once we get everything secured to the live podcast with our registered dietitian. So, if you will, take your camera out, go ahead and scan that QR code that's on your screen. Once you scan that QR code, it's going to bring you up to the site where you can cast your vote. Whether yes or no, you'll be willing to join us once we get everything secured and bring on board our registered dietitian. All right, you that are watching live, you that are currently watching us live, go ahead, take that camera out, scan that QR code. That's QR code that's right there on your screen. It's right there. Go ahead and scan that QR code for us and cast your vote. And you that might be watching this podcast a little later on, reviewing it later on, you still have an opportunity to take your camera, scan that QR code right there and cast your vote, letting us know your willingness to join us for our live podcast here on Health Talk. Again, we're super, 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 super excited for the opportunity for this registered dietitian to come on board and speak to us. All right, we're gonna step back for a few minutes. We're gonna leave the QR code up and available for you to cast your vote and let us know whether you're willing to join us during our live podcast once we secure everything and get the registered dietitian to come on board and speak with us. I hope you are as excited about this opportunity as I am. And as I said in the previously, once we go live and we have the dietitian on, you're able to ask any kind of questions regarding to health, nutrition that you would like, and you can do so by just typing into the comment section your question. We will make those questions available on screen in live real time, and we will be able to provide you with the response right then and there in real time. Again, we're super excited. Go ahead, scan that QRS code right over there. It's right there. Take your camera out, click it, click that, scan it, and then go to the page and cast your vote. All right, we're going to give you a few more minutes. I'm going to be here, but I'm going to step back for just a few minutes. But we're going to leave the polling QR code available for you to go ahead and cast your vote. All right, I'll see you back in a few minutes. All right, all right, all right. Again, thank you all so much for taking time out of your busy schedule and joining us here on our live podcast, Health Talk. Listen, we are super excited about the opportunity to bring on board a registered dietitian. Uh, but we want to know from you, our listening audience, what are your thoughts? And will you be willing to join us in our live podcast when we bring on the registered dietitian? So I'm asking you, if you will, go ahead, take your camera out, go to that QR code, scan it. It's going to bring you up to the screen where you can cast your vote. Cast your vote, yes or no, whether you'll be willing to join us once we get ready to get everything secured and are able to go live with our podcast, okay? And having our registered dietitian on board. Um, Again, once we get everything together and bring it on board, as with any of our podcasts, you are able to ask any question. All you have to do is type in the comment section in real time. You will get a response in real time to your question. You just type in there what your question in the comment section, and you will get a immediate reply in real time to your question. We're getting prepared to bring on board a registered dietitian who's going to come and talk to us about, amen, various types of nutrition is concerned, dietary concerns, and we want you to be a part of that live podcast. So cast your vote and let us know. You that are watching live, you can go ahead and take your camera out, cast that vote now. You that might be watching later on, you can still cast your vote. All you got to do is take your camera out, scan that QR code, cast your vote, and boom, it's done. All right. And also, we're asking you to please, 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 please help us out, okay? If you're watching us on YouTube, go ahead on and hit that subscribe button and hit the little bell so you can get notification when we go live. If you're also watching us on LinkedIn or if you're watching us on Facebook, please like, tag, share. Come on, do that for us. Come on, like, tag, share if you're watching us. All right, get the word out. We're getting prepared to come on board with a registered dietitian on our live podcast, but we want to know from you, our listening audience, your willingness to come and join us once we actually go live and secure everything and get him on board and everything. Okay. All right, this is Ferris Corbett, and we're coming to you from Health Talk. And Health Talk is a part of He Cares Training and Education Center, where yours truly is the program director, and Dr. Deidre Willis, she is our program manager. All right, you can contact us via here on Health Talk, or you can send us a email at uh, he cares htec@gmail.com. All right. We also have our contact information at the end of this here podcast. We will display all our information on how you can get in touch with us. Also, please take time out to visit our website. That information will also be displayed at the end of this podcast. Make sure that you go and check our website out for He Cares Training and Education Center. We also offer health coaching. We also help offer whole health and holistic health coaching as well. All right. So once at the end of the podcast, you will have the information on how you can get in touch with us. Um, if you want to some health coaching or holistic health coaching, all that information is going to be available to you at the end of this podcast. Right now, we're asking you that are watching us live and you that may be reviewing this here podcast a little bit later on. We want you to cast your vote for us. We're getting ready to bring on board a registered dietitian to one of our podcasts, but we want to know your willingness to join us once we get things secured and get a date and a time and confirm everything and bring the the dietitian on board. We want to know, will you be willing to watch and come and join us on our live podcast? So if you will, do us a quick favor. It won't take but just a quick moment of your time. I know you've taken enough time out of your busy schedule to join this live podcast. And listen, I really do appreciate that. I don't take that light. Like, you could be doing other things. You didn't have to come and join us, but I appreciate you to the highest. So I'm asking you, if you don't mind, take your camera out, scan that QR code that's on your screen, and cast your vote on your willingness to join us for our live podcast with our registered dietitian. Okay. Also, if you don't mind, again, we're asking you to please help us out. If you're watching us by YouTube, we actually hit the subscribe button and the little bell notification so you get notified once we do any all of our live podcasts. And you that are watching us on LinkedIn or either Facebook, we're asking that you hit like, share, tag, excuse me, so we can get the word out. Okay. Again, I'm asking you, if you will, please take your camera out and scan that QR code and cast your vote on whether or not you'll be willing to join us on our live podcast once we get everything finalized to bring our registered dietitian on board, who will be able to provide us some very, very valuable information on nutrition and health wise. All right. All right. Thank you all so much for taking time to come to hear here on Health Talk. Well, yours truly, Ferris Corbett, is the program director for He Cares Training and Education Center, and Miss Dr. Deirdre Willis is our program manager. All right, we thank you so much for your time. We thank you so much for casting your vote. We're going to leave this on even a few minutes after we physically get off the air, but we're going to leave the screen up so you can continue to cast your vote. All right. Thank you all so much for joining us here on Health Talk. I am Ferris Corbett, the program director for He Cares Training and Education Center, which Health Talk is a part of, and Dr. Deirdre Willis is our program manager. Thank you so much. I appreciate you to the highest for taking time to join us here. All right, we're going to leave this up just a little bit after we ourselves get off live, but we're going to leave the scanning the QR code available for just a few more minutes. Okay. All right. God bless you. Heaven smile upon you. And until we meet again, listen, stay healthy. All right. We'll talk to you soon. God bless.